So first of all, I love the concept of meta bonds. That is hilarious. But I don't know. I'm feeling like there's a little hypocrisy here because when women have emotional affairs, men damn near die on the cross. Oh, she cheated on me. She was having an emotional affair. But y'all saying emotional affairs ain't shit, right? Because y'all say emotional affairs eventually lead to physical affairs. And so I think that's why he ended up confessing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to co-sign with Nick on this as well, which is shocking on this particular episode. I'm not used to this because it is cheating for him because he was a virgin. And cheating is whatever you define cheating is for yourself. And so since he identified the fact that he was sexting all these women and he identified the fact that he had an actual emotional affair with one, then he was cheating. That was the standard that he set for himself. I personally think that standard should exist for everyone. But as you know, everyone can't fall by the same standard because you need to set your own standard. And if you're with someone, whatever standard they set for that cheating, some folks considering, and now some things can be outrageous, like sliding to my DMs, that's not cheating, right? Especially if they don't respond back or even if they do respond back, but just because somebody got a DM chat from some random stranger don't equal cheating. There's no relationship that has been established. Like, what the hell is that? So sometimes there are things that we over compensate for when we talk about cheating, right? We overdo it. We say, oh, that's cheating, that's cheating. Someone say, you talk to this dude or you talk to this female, that's cheating. When in reality, they could have just been having a high and by conversation or just being polite. So I do agree that we actually need to be more conscientious in regards to what we consider cheating. Now, what I will also say is, damn, bro, like you straight up humiliate this woman once again. I was like, you already, when I read the full story and listened to the Wifey podcast, I was like, this happened several years ago. And while the sexting was apparently repeat performance, right, until you got it together, it was like, you already apologized to her before. Why are you apologizing again publicly? Like, are you castrating yourself and putting yourself out for the world to see so you get this public flogging? Is it because you're still doing it and therefore this makes sure you don't do it? Is this another way of holding yourself accountable? I was just like, man, because when she started off on the podcast, she was sitting far away from him until he started talking about, when I'm thirsty, I drink from my wife and only my wife. And then she slid a little closer. So I was like, see, she forgave you. Look at her sliding closer when you talking about you drink only for her. Kudos for you, sir. But with that being said, I was like, I think that for him and many others, especially if you're in the religious arena, aka Christians or any other religion, if your spirituality dictates something is cheating, then it's cheating. You know, emotional, spiritual betrayal is just as bad as physical betrayal, depending on who you with and what sect you're with. So I say, yeah, he was cheating. Now, as far as the broader conversation, I think it's up to everyone to define what cheating is.
Does it go to the issue that all marriages are just not the same? You know what I mean? Every marriage, like every couple, is individual. You should shape it how you want to shape it. And I asked that because, the web has been talking.
You better go keep it moving.
Yeah, did I mistime it?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
There's more to still talk about. I still want to talk about the subject. You was ready to move. I see you.
Yeah.
Ready to move on to the next one. Sorry, my brother.
Yeah. Carry on.
That's okay. Because there's a lot still here. Okay. Couple of things. Number one, as you were talking to S&M about how this happened several years ago and him bringing it back up, it reminded me of content. Sometimes you got to regurgitate old content, repackage it, repurpose to stay relevant, right? You know what I'm saying? So I see him maybe repackaging this. And if that's the case, shame on you, sir, because you're also repackaging like, hey, your wife part of this too, right? If that's why you're doing it, no judgment from me, but from the Lord. So let me say that. That's number one. Number two, I think the reason why a lot of people probably call everything cheating is because they don't want to deal with the real conversation about intent. Like, in other words, okay, you caught your partner clearly intending or at least conversing, even if they're kind of meta doing it, they're still engaging in a way that you don't appreciate, right? Like they're connecting with someone else, even if it's not physical. And I think the other partner may be like, ooh, I don't like that, right? And rather than having that conversation, to kind of figure out, okay, well, why is this happening? You know what I mean? Is there some level of disconnect? Am I accountable in some way, shape, or form? It's easier to say, oh, no, that's cheating. The other person's a bad person. I get to be on my high horse and not really have to deal with what's happening in real time. And even in this particular case, if he's just saying, hey, listen, this is my story, maybe they've done the work behind the scenes. And I guess a more interesting conversation would have been for me, and I didn't see it, admittedly, all of it, but what was the motivation there? Right? Like, and on top of that, is there something wrong with that motivation? You know what I'm saying? And also, furthermore, sometimes people marry people for different reasons. And I guess we think that sex has to be at the heart of it, but sometimes people marry for other reasons other than sex, right? And maybe their partner does not fulfill them in that way. They can still fulfill the religious and the dutiful needs as a partner, but like, hey, I mean, I didn't marry you for that for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? We've heard of pastors talking about not being attracted to their wives, and I guess it's like, oh my God. But like, is that the way that we should be partnering anyway, off of just attraction? So if somebody says, hey, this person meets, 8 out of the 10, and maybe the two they don't meet is that they ain't the sexiest thing out here, and maybe our sex ain't popping, but shit, they'll make her be a good mom, be a good first lady, you know what I'm saying? Be dutiful about her job. She ain't going nowhere. I mean, look at her. Like all those things give that pastor comfort in doing his job. And who are we or anybody else to have an issue with that? And then that would further the conversation in terms of, well, you know what? If she's the wife and she clearly is here for this, right? She's accepted that, hey, I ain't the looker that my husband needs or deserves. So yeah, I'm going to look the other way so that he at least gets what he deserves on that end. But at the end of the day, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We've built this, and I'm cool with not fucking him all the time because I barely like dick anyway. Like, what's wrong with that potential reality for a couple? So I'm not saying that's their reality. I'm simply saying there's so many different conversations in this that I think if we're talking about attraction or what causes someone to want to seek other attention, maybe she's not giving him the attention that he feels like he deserves. Right? He gets a podcast popping. All of a sudden, he's getting hollered at from the outside in a way that his wife is not showing him on the inside. Does she appreciate the man that he's become? You know what I'm saying? Did she upgrade with him and give him the kudos for the hard work that he's done to become whoever the fuck he is? Right. So a lot of times that's part of it too, when you talk about ego. So I think those are the undercurrents of this. John, whatever his name, Pastor, whatever his name is, not so much, but I think using him to talk about these deeper issues. I mean, listen, just go out there and cheat, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then come back and we're all ears. You know what I'm saying? Tell us about that other experience and we're here for that. But this retread, we're good. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I hear you. It's like, don't tell me about the time you almost caught a fish. You know what I mean? Like, dude.
That's a fact.
Y'all
I'm just
crazy as
saying.
hell.
I'm just saying. But look, I'm still going. I'm going to chalk it up to relationships being different. Maybe he and his wife, when they got together, she was like, "Look, you better not look at no other woman. Don't ever look at another woman again." If that was the standard, then yes, he violated, and he should have negotiated better.